Okay, this time f of x is equal to the square root of x plus 7. Once again, we need to find the inverse. We're going to follow the four-step process that I put in the notes. So step number 1 says that we have to first change the f of x into a y. So if we do that, we get this. Step number 2, the most important step, you need to switch x and y. That's our definition of an inverse. Our x's and y's are actually switched for each. So I have x equals the square root of y plus 7. Okay, so next I need to, for step 3, I have to solve this for y. So I need to get y by itself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to square both sides of the equation. So I square each of those, then I get x squared here. The square and the radical are going to cancel and I get y plus 7. Not done yet because I got to get y by itself, so I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. I get x squared minus 7 is going to equal y. Step number 4 is you're going to put the inverse notation in. So I have the inverse of x is going to equal x squared minus 7. So there's my inverse. My original one is the square root of x plus 7. The inverse is x squared minus 7. Okay, so now that I have these two, I'm going to do the test for each one and show that these are inverses by verifying it. The verification process that you're going to get, again, you're always doing the same thing. So here we're going to do this check. We're going to put the inverse into the original one. We have to get x. The other one that we're doing is we're putting the original one into the inverse. And that's the other check. Again, if I get x for both sides here, that means I've verified, in fact, that this is the correct inverse, x squared minus 7. So let's start with this. We have f, we're putting in the inverse. The inverse is x squared minus 7. So we just figured that out earlier. And we're putting this into the f. So for that, my template is I have a square root of something and then I have plus 7. So I'm going to put what's inside here, x squared minus 7. I'm putting that in place of the x. Then I'm going to simplify it. 7's cancel. I get the square root of x squared, and that's equal to x. So I've already shown that on this side, I simplified all of it, and I got x for the answer. Now I got to show this side is equal to x. The inverse, I need to put in the square root of x plus 7 inside because that's my f of x. I'm putting that into my inverse, and here's the formula I'm using right here, x squared minus 7. The template says I have something squared and then I have minus 7. The space inside here, that's going to get filled in with the square root of x plus 7. That's what's inside the parenthesis. The square will take care of the radical, and I get x plus 7 minus 7. That's also going to simplify down to x. So since I got x for both sides here, I verified that what I got earlier, x squared minus 7, is the correct inverse.